Thank you for coming to the Innovators Preview to see what's new in UEM. Today, you'll be able to talk to our product management team and our UEM experts to see what's new in UEM and what's going on. Please hold all of your questions for the PM team until the end, or please post them in the chat and they'll be answered then at the end of the call. We'll have a quick Q&A session. So if you have a question pop up, go ahead, pop it in the chat, and we'll be monitoring and giving you the answers towards the end. Before we get into everything that the product management team is going to go over, I just wanted to highlight some other opportunities you have or are welcome to do right now as an innovator and just as obviously an Ivanti customer. So what's new for Innovators Engage? We have a few more innovator preview sessions going on this week. If any of these pertain to you, if you're using any of these other products, so RBVM is tomorrow, and then the Neuron for Ivanti Neurons will be on Thursday. So if you haven't registered for those sessions, or haven't seen them, please go ahead and do that. You can find those links on Innovators Engage or Innovators Connect. So please do that. If you're using Neurons for MDM and you want to talk to our UX team, there's also an opportunity to do that right now. They're just asking for feedback on some research that they're doing right now for MDM users. Something fun you can do is kind of share your goals right now with an Innovators Engage. Can be personal, can be what you're planning to do with your product information, whatever you're willing to share. I just wanted to plug that. And then soon you'll have the opportunity to be a speaker at Ivanti Solutions Summit if you are planning on attending. So look out for that challenge this week within Innovators Engage. Another plug for G2. If you haven't already written a review on G2 for UEM, use this QR code link to get a $25 gift card. Make sure it's personal, it comes for you. The more detailed you are in the review, the more you can help others. So if you haven't already, it doesn't take that long to do. Tell us how you feel about UEM. Obviously, we hope all is good, but your reviews help us as well determine where we are with our products. So, and you can also do your review via Innovators Engage, and you can get a lot of points for it on top of the $25 gift card. So just wanted to plug that so you get double the amount of points. And then, of course, our Ivanti Solutions Summit is coming up April 9th. Not that far away at all. Like Jesse and I were talking about at the beginning of the call, this year has really done full send. So I believe early bird pricing is still going on until the 12th of this month. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, now's the best time to do so to get that early bird rate. And now I'm going to pass it off to Aruna and her team to go over what's new in UEM.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Today we are here to present what's new with the UEM, especially focusing on the Q1 releases that are coming out with the Neurons for MDM products and the EPMM products, along with covering the productivity apps and MTD. To start with, anything is the confidentiality notice is basically whatever the information that we are presenting here is just what the intention to that it is coming out, just in case there could be changes based on the OS vendor changes, etc., that might impact the current plan releases or the content that's coming up with the release. All right, I think this is covered by Cassidy already. So to just start with the introduction, I am Aruna Creative. I'm the Director of the Product Management, managing the UEM product portfolio, which covers the products such as EPMM, Neurons for MDM. EPMM is formerly known as Mobile and Core, and Neurons for MDM, formerly as Mobile and Cloud. And all of the clients such as Mobile at Work, Go clients, Mobile at Work for macOS, then MTD, all of the productivity apps such as Email Plus, Docs at Work, Web at Work, and also the overall OS platforms, which is basically the on-prem and the cloud. Along with my team here, we have Yosune Toshin also, and they'll be introducing themselves in the upcoming slides. So moving on, I'll be covering the strategy today in general. I know that there is a lot of changes that happened in the last 2 years with acquisitions and name changes, brand changes. I mean to say, like, and also what's the strategy overall when combining all these products? So how does it look like? So I'm going to cover that and then hand off to my team, who will be talking about the new capabilities and what's going on with the Android, Chrome OS, along with the Apple platforms, followed by the rest of the product areas. All right, let's start with the combined strength. So Ivanti as a company offers a range of products and solutions, and organizations can choose the specific Ivanti products that best meets their needs to achieve the combined strength of cybersecurity, UEM, and EXM in their IT environments. Again, combining these strengths of all these areas can lead to more comprehensive and integrated approach to managing and securing IT environments and bringing the best employee digital experience. So Ivanti offers cybersecurity solutions that help organizations protect their systems and data from various threats, including malware, ransomwares, and phishing attacks. And UEM solutions are designed to streamline and manage of all the endpoints in an organization, including desktops, laptops, mobile devices, and even IoT devices. While experience management focuses on improving the end user experience within an organization. So Ivanti's EXM solutions aim to enhance the productivity and satisfaction of the employees by providing a seamless and user-friendly IT environment. This includes optimizing IT service delivery and support ensuring the employees have a positive digital experience. And this is how the overall combined product portfolio looks like, with the endpoints and risk management coming together. So all these three areas combined can result in enhanced security with more robust security posture, also efficient IT management, where organizations can efficiently manage their IT assets and provide a better experience for end user, which is basically the digital experience is what we're talking about. So these are the various range of products that are part of the Ivanti solutions currently that encompasses the endpoints and the risk management solutions combined together. Now moving on to the focus, the specific focus, the EPMM and the neurons for MDM. We are continuing to focus on the premium OS integrations such as Apple, Android, Windows, where we are making a continuous effort from the past few years to make sure that we're providing the day zero compatibility for these OS platforms, especially with Apple and Android. We do strive to make sure that our customers are able to enjoy the brand new capabilities that these OS vendors push every year, while we also focus on our first-class user experience and also flexible deployments, wherein you can see that we do support multiple types of deployments, such as corporate-owned, then there is a BYOD, then frontline workers, a lot of various deployments that we do support today. And the focus continues on these specific areas as we move on. All right, so with that, I will pass it on to Toshin, who will cover the Android, followed by the Apple platforms, where Yosine will cover the Apple content share.
Hey, thanks, Aruna. Hello, everyone. I'm Toshin. I am on Aruna's team. I head our Google device management products at Ivanti. I've been doing this for quite some time now. And what is interesting that is coming in Q1 is, we continue to execute on our corporate-owned, business-only use cases and also focus on BYOD to some extent. But a lot of our customers have requested for use cases which allows their businesses to succeed with their business use cases. And this is where we are predominantly helping our customers achieve their goals through our solution. There are a few changes that are coming up in Q1 2024, and I want to go through these one by one. the first change that is an important note for all admins and and users is the relinquish command, which was available on corporate-owned, personally enabled devices where your users have personal information and you have the corporate, but the device is corporate-owned. Relinquish was able to remove the corporate management from the device and still keep users' personal information on the device, allowing the user to have a continued user experience. Now, between Apple and Android device management, that was a difference. Relinquish was only applicable to Android, and Retire was something that was already available in the product. So, starting from Q1 2024, this is something that you will have to watch out for as we roll out our release into production. The relinquish command will no longer be available. The APIs may not work, and there's a KV article in which we have detailed all the latest information on this. But in short, relinquish will be replaced with retire. So if you want to just simply remove management of the device from that particular endpoint, you simply use retire. The same goes for Apple, the same would go for Android. So this brings the parity between the two platforms in terms of what admins can expect. Why are we doing this? We basically seeing a lot of people moving from Apple to Android as a platform and getting confused with the different set of capabilities and different set of positionings that are there. So we want to make sure uh, we do not have any difference there. Next thing, wipe is is a feature that was available on corporate-owned devices. It continues to be available on corporate-owned devices. However, it will not be uh, allowed to run on a BYOD device. That was still the case. We are just enhancing our product to provide admins that granularity or that chain of thought where wipe no longer works for work profile devices with a custom error message for both the admin workflow and for the user workflow. So there's no significant change here except for improving the end user experience. We are enhancing our bulk enrollment capability on Android devices by allowing admins to add more to an existing profile. So if you build a profile where you have 10,000 devices, you don't have to kind of add 100 devices manually anymore. You can simply upload 100 more devices via a CSV to an existing profile, allowing you to continue using that profile, using the token from the profile instead of having to manually enter 100 new device records. So right now, this was manual coming in Q1, and this may be already available in Sandbox for you to take a look at, which is to be able to add CSV files into a profile so that you don't have to go through this whole cumbersome process. So again, a lot of improvements in the whole admin workflow cycle. We are also, as part of our Q1, and this is kind of a mix because APIs are backend activities, but these are bulk enrollment APIs are now public. So a lot of customers have asked us for these APIs to be made public, and we have made a conscious effort to do that. Now, starting from Q1 onwards, and already bulk enrollment APIs are public. This means you can enhance your corporate use cases with third-party contractors where you may give them a single web page or anything that you may feel is right for your deployments where these contractors can use these APIs and create a custom solution where they're not involved in the management of the device, or they do not have to log into the Ivanti Neurons or MDM console, and they can shoot these APIs and get the devices up and running from bulk enrollment using this feature. Next, we are introducing kiosk inactivity. This is something that we are still working on, and we are very close to flagging this feature for general availability. Kiosk inactivity provides a automated logout functionality in a shared kiosk scenario. So if you have a shared kiosk, somebody logs in, they forget to log out, the kiosk inactivity could kick in based on the time that you set and log the user out. This allows for, of course, for data protection of the user, and also provides a seamless flow for the next user who's planning to use this device. So kiosk inactivity will help such use cases and also secure the device to some extent. We are making a lot of effort in the shared kiosk scenarios where customers can benefit from information. So in Q1, we will provide information on the session login information. What does that mean? That really brings out all the information about when did somebody log in, when did they log out, what was their session length, and who that user was. So this is going to be a premium feature for customers who are already on this. They will get this in their console. On a shared kiosk device, there will be a tab for user activity, and you will be able to look at how your users are interacting with these devices, and if your deployments are really scaling and are being used by your users. That will be enhanced further as we go down the line and try to understand how customers are using this. Some OS changes, Google did bring out a few changes with respect to how devices are certified. So Play Integrity is the new module that Google has used to replace Safety Net. So if you remember, these are basically hardware-based protections or hardware certifications of this device. Play Integrity is kind of a new feature set from Google. They aim to provide this option on all devices, but for now, we are rolling Play Integrity for Android 14 devices. What does this mean for the admins? Not much. These are backend changes that we have kind of grandfathered into the solution. So if you're using Safety Net today, you would not see any changes with Play Integrity being introduced. It's just it's going to feel like it's just a name replacement. But in the behind the scenes kind of a scenario, there's a lot which has changed, and we are moving in the direction as Safety Net is now deprecated. The second last item, some of you have asked for this time and time again, and we've finally been able to deliver this, which is time window based install for in-house apps. So when you take in-house apps, you want them to be installed, let's say at 11 p.m. tonight or at 2 a.m. Tomorrow morning. So that is going to be available. We already have time-based app management for in-house apps at a device level, but now we are bringing that granularity at an app level so that you can choose if a specific app needs to go out of order rather than at a device level. So if all your 100 apps, let's say, are going to be updated at 2 a.m., but for some security reason, you have this one app that needs to go ahead of the schedule, instead of changing the whole platform to accommodate the small issue, you could simply use the app's own time-based install, move it ahead of schedule, get it installed on the devices. And last but not the least, there are some additional protections in lockdown configs, which prevents a user from resetting networks. So these all are bringing more and more capabilities on the corporate-owned business-only use cases that we are dealing with on Android. And some of you who may not have a good sense of the experience on shared kiosk, I really would encourage you to take a sneak peek at shared kiosk. If you looked at shared iPad, very similar model. However, there's no requirement for a managed Google account or a managed Apple ID to get Android devices in a shared kiosk. You simply use the users that you have in the Neurons or MDM console, and you can benefit from that. Very simple deployment, whereas and a lot of features to kind of take advantage of. Moving on to the next thing, which is Chrome OS. We are making strides here. We have introduced this as a platform offering. Chrome OS is a new product that we launched in 2023. This allows you to bring all your Chromebooks into Ivanti Neurons for MDM console. Now, with this being said, that allows you to take advantage of a single console to manage all your devices. If you're doing iOS, Android, Windows, and now you're also thinking about deploying Chromes, you do not need to manage these devices in the Google console or in a third-party console. We are allowing admins to benefit from that single pane of glass management. Now, what we did identify is some customers use their production accounts with the POC tenant or the POC instance of Neurons for MDM, and then they want to move away from it. So now there is a capability to delete an existing integration. So if you manage to test something in, let's say, Sandbox, and it was running with your Google production domain, you want to sever the ties from Sandbox and move it to production, you could easily do that. And what is interesting about our Chrome OS offering is kind of an industry first approach where we allow the system to auto develop all these configurations for you. So we have 500 plus settings that you can apply to a Chromebook, and these settings are day zero ready. We automatically populate these from Google as Google makes these changes, which makes it a very powerful solution. If you think about it, you don't have to worry about, hey, when is Ivanti going to release this particular feature, which is required for my Google Chrome books or for Google Chrome as a browser. By making this whole engine automated, we have taken care of the day zero capabilities in a very elegant way. There's a single config. You do not have to deploy 10, 15 configs. There's a single config called Chrome OS Blueprint. You simply deploy the blueprint and make use of that on all your devices. However, if you want to make some minor changes, let's say you have a marketing group where you're deploying Chromebooks, and then you want to make few changes for the sales group, you can simply clone the configuration, make those tiny bit of changes that you require, and move on. And without having to manage 20 different configs for each group, you're able to do that with two configs. So very elegantly designed, very elegantly thought through, but we would really love to hear your feedback. If you are interested in this, feel free to reach out to me. And for lastly, I'll just say we are making significant changes here with respect to Chromebooks. So if you have features or things that you have thought about or you had previously experienced, we'd love to hear that too. On the on-prem side for Android, we are looking at specific customer feedback, specific use cases, and also keeping up with the changes that Android is bringing in. Again, the focus is on the frontline initiative, on the corporate-owned business-only use cases that our customers are telling us about. The first one being a lot of our customers are deploying our on-prem solutions in off-premise networks or offline networks. This means they are not able to connect with the internet in order to activate a Samsung license while a Samsung Knox device is being enrolled. With the Q1 release, we are delivering a feature functionality where you could deactivate the Samsung license check, allowing you to enroll a Samsung device in without having to worry about the license check. If you ever have dependencies on Samsung licenses, you would have to make sure your devices and your EPMM service connects to the internet. However, for customers who are not interested in using features from Samsung Knox solution set and want simple deployments, they are able to now deactivate the Samsung license check for offline deployments. What we are also focusing, and this is something that we did first on Neurons for MDM, and we're bringing the same feature functionality on the on-prem side, is easier access to logs. We have heard multiple times customers spend time and time again, on numerous cases or trying to troubleshoot things by themselves. A lot of time is being spent on accessing logs. We are making that simple both across Android and iOS. Where once you collect the logs will be available within the device details of that particular device. So you go into the device details, you will have a simple link which allows you to simply click on that and download all your logs. On Android, we are going a step further where we are allowing to collect mobile network, and security logs silently from the device. You do not have to really concern the user if your use case does not require you to collect debug logs or the bug report. The logs which we were previously collecting contained all these logs, which is mobile network logs, network and security logs if you have enabled them, and debug logs by default. By removing the debug logs, or what we call the Android bug report, we're able to collect rest of the logs silently now. This allows for a simplified troubleshooting scenario where if you are looking at a device and you are seeing some issues which are hardly reproducible, you'll be able to collect these logs in time instead of them getting written over. So again, providing that ease of use for our admins. Q1, we are bringing the shared kiosk experience that we have delivered on the SaaS side to our on-prem side to a certain degree, where you'll have a new UI on the app side. So keep a watch out for that. And we also are providing new functionality which allows users to log into the device much more quickly. Instead of typing in your username, you simply click on your username and you'll be prompted to enter your password. So we are basically getting rid of the user having to enter their username every time and time again while they're using the device. So again, a very neat feature to improve the user experience. And last but not the least, we are adding two new capabilities, which is the lockdown for network reset, preventing the user from removing networks from the device. And finally, I guess a favorite of all, this is something, again, we are doing across the platform for iOS and Android devices, which is to allow manual deletion of devices. So you can pick each and every device or a group of devices and use an action item to delete devices individually instead of having to rely on automated device cleanup or such other functionalities. That is really it for Android on cloud, on the SaaS side, and on the on-prem side, including Chromebooks. I will pass it over to Yasune. Thank you, everyone.
So good morning, good evening, everyone. My name is Yasune Batra. I'm a product manager here at Ivanti. I manage everything that is related to Apple devices in our MDM products, EPMM and Neurons for MDM, and also for our Windows devices on the MDM side. I've been with the company for a while, joining from the Mobile Iron acquisition. So we're working with these products for over 8 years now. And happy to be here and telling you a little bit of what happened for Apple devices in this coming release. All right, so I'll go through the different features. Some are part of the support that is required for the Neurons for, iOS 17 and macOS 14. And some others are feature requests that have been there. Our customers have been asking for them as well. So we'll see. You'll see a mix of those things. The first one is the private network. And you'll see that most of this, so I don't have a separate section for EPMM and Neurons for MDM because we try to support at the same time the new features from Apple. So some are just deferred maybe for 1 or 2 quarters, but it's basically most of it is exactly the same kind of support. So private network management in EPMM and Neurons for MDM. This is for customers that do have a private network set up in a manufacturing facility, or something specific that they wanted to accomplish. And then now we can configure their eSIM with different functionalities, right? So the eSIM is already configured with that private network, and we can set up a geofencing that when this private network needs to do some choosing of the network or the Wi-Fi, and so it's much more efficient in general for the management of the network itself. We also are supporting the network relays. So this is a new way to traffic and protect your traffic from applications and from the device, especially to go into, for example, internal resources, and you don't want to manage a VPN application on the devices anymore. This will be a solution as it is embedded in the OS itself. So you can configure it through the MDM with this payload, and then it will connect directly to your resources. If you have a relays infrastructure already configured, in your organization. This will also be available for applications, but the application itself needs to support it, right? So this is fairly new in general. I know lots of customers are asking about it. We are also planning to have a KB eventually as what are the use cases for network relays that are not covered by VPNs and so forth. So you can have a better idea on how those work. So you can expect that we'll be doing a little bit more research and giving you more information in general for the architecture and how to leverage relays better by the end of next month. So I know most of the customers are asking, like, what can I do with it? So that's what we are working on to provide you more information. And yeah, on the other side, the applications themselves, the vendors of the application need to start supporting this with their SDK, the new SDKs that Apple has provided, so you can leverage as well. Also, cellular 5G slicing. This is also new, even for the carriers, it's fairly new. So not all carriers are supporting it yet. So we are we're working very closely with some of them to make sure that this work. We've been doing some testing, and it does work perfectly. And like I said, not all carriers are working still with this 5G slicing or have an offering for it. But if you're interested, feel free to reach out and we can work with your carrier if the carrier is not supporting yet, and we can have a more detailed discussion. I know Apple even is very interested in working with the carriers directly to support the slicing. And the use case is basically one, you need to dedicate a specific bandwidth for one application that you don't want that traffic to get interrupted by resources consumed by other applications, for example. Then you can dedicate a slicing, a little slice or bigger slice, depending on the application for the traffic of that app. This is only at the app level, so you'll see that it's part of an app configurations. Return to service. This is an interesting feature for those customers that, of course, are not are only supervised devices, especially when they have to repurpose a device on the field, right? So very useful. For example, I've heard from point of sales kind of devices that you need to just wipe a device, but it needs to re-enroll automatically without any user intervention. So very useful. You can just click your wipe command, and you will have a new option that asks if you want to do the return to service. And that will help re-enroll and go through the whole DEP process by itself without any user intervention, which is very helpful when you don't want to disrupt your users, or it will require some training of the users if they need to repurpose those devices for some reason. So this will be available for iOS 17 for iPad and iOS. Another very sought after feature is the restrict enrollment by OS. I know customers are doing all sorts of things today when they don't want a specific version or devices on a specific version to enroll on the device on the system, because it may have some vulnerabilities that are not addressed. So they are, I know they're creating some compliance policies, but that is the after the fact, right? this new feature by Apple is the ability to, from the beginning, the device connects to the server and it will let the server know I am on this version, and the admin previously has set up what should be the recommended version. And this is nothing that the admin has to do besides just setting this this version in the MDM enrollment profile. And then from there, the OS will take it on, and it will send back to the user a message saying, we cannot enroll you, or whatever message you define, but basically you can let them know that if they click an upgrade, you will take them automatically through the enrollment process, through the upgrade process automatically, and then try the enrollment again. So very seamless, and it is all OS driven, besides the admin having to put the OS version or build version or even supplemental version, and then the end user clicking go through with the upgrade, right? Account-driven device enrollment is it's kind of the second piece to user enrollment. We understand that user enrollment has not been adopted a lot by our customers, as it doesn't have a lot, or doesn't give a lot of management possibilities, right? It's very limited. It's for BYOD customers that want to really focus on getting the user some enrollment, but not really manage it completely. Now, account-driven device enrollment instead of account-driven user enrollment provides an extra layer of controls. So we will follow the same process for the end user to go into the settings and do the user and password in their work account. And it will take them through the enrollment, but it will be a full enrollment, right? So it will provide most of the capabilities that you can have in an MDM setup, right? So it's like when you're trying to do BYOD, but without any specific enrollments, like the current profile enrollment that we do have. So it will act exactly the same as when you do a BYOD with your users. You're just enhancing the experience of the user to enroll in this this new way, right? With the user and password on the work account. Another very sought after feature, this is not specific to iOS 17, but customers have been asking for a while. We are enhancing our lost mode. Many customers have been asking today, when you get your device in lost mode, it just shows a map and it doesn't provide the updated latitude and longitude. So many customers would like to use their own maps, Google Maps or anything, and they wanted this specific location. So this we are releasing this enhancement for Neurons for MDM in Q1 and for EPMM in Q2 as well. We're going to be doing more enhancements. Some more macOS restrictions are coming that were released later in the betas. So we already added most of the bulk of the macOS restrictions that were released for macOS 14, but that some were released later, and so we are adding them now in these releases. Another interesting feature for macOS is the platform SSO. So platform SSO allows for it is an part of the extensible SSO that was released in the previous Apple release, and now it's adding more layers to it. There are two main features that this platform SSO brings that our macOS customers have been asking for a while. That one is the account creation, the local account creation at enrollment, and the other one is the ability to sync back the local password to their AD environment. And today that was and not really possible with an MDM. but Apple is adding that capability now. So it will be native to Apple to be able to have the sync back of the password of the local account, and also the ability to create a local account on the device when enrolling. The only caveat that it will still requires an IDP to support this in between. So from the MDM perspective, we will push all the commands and the payload to the device, but then the device to connect back to your AD, it will require that IDP that makes the connection from the device to your AD, right? Today, Okta is the only IDP that is supporting this, and that's why we are focusing on the Okta integration. They have an application that it's called Okta Verify that needs to be installed on the device, and with some configurations, and then it will take it by itself, right? So once you push that application into the device, and then that application will take it from there and do the creation of the local accounts, and will also sync back to the AD, the local password. Why I'm showing here is that we do need to do some sort of changes or adding to support the specific Okta integration. We already support the MDM payloads, right, to push this platform SSO. However, the integration with Okta, there were some minor changes that we had to do in the Neurons for MDM. We just needed to add some changes in the associated domains so we can support that. On the EPMM, we do need to do more because we were missing the manage app configs for macOS apps. And also we will need to add the support for macOS, the App Store, the public applications, so customers can access that public app from Okta Verify. So like I mentioned, Okta is the only one supporting it today, but Microsoft Entra has announced that they will be releasing also a feature, an app that will work as well. So when it is released, we will be there to make the support as well, and so forth. So we have customers that have asked about Ping because they have Ping identity. So they are working directly with Ping and trying to, for Ping to support this Apple feature as well. So it will be a three-way feature, basically, right? The MDM, the IDP, and Apple support, right? All right, moving on. This is account creation that I mentioned. So you see, it will be all supported in Neurons for MDM, and EPMM in Q2. And that is the support for Q1. I don't know if we have time. I wanted to give a quick preview of other things that are coming, but I don't want to take more time of the Cassidy. I don't know how we're doing on time.
If you're the last one to speak, I think we have time. I believe most of the questions have been answered in the chat anyway, so I'd say go ahead.
Yeah, but you can go ahead with the declarative management and cover the Windows part, Yosune. If time permits, I'll cover the app management and productivity apps, or else we could do another session for that.
Okay, I just wanted to do a sneak peek because customers have been asking a lot about declarative management, and I know in Q1 we don't have any customer-facing feature, so just wanted to kind of give a sneak peek of what's coming. So we will be focused. I know declarative management has been, it's something that everybody's talking about. We are supporting declarative management for Neurons for MDM and EPMM. Declarative management is already supported in Neurons for MDM, so all devices that are eligible for declarative management are enabled in the backend. So you don't have to do anything as an admin to really enable those devices, right? They are ready for when we start supporting all the configurations. The first configuration that we will support with Declarative Management is the software updating enforcement, where customers can set up a deadline for the devices to upgrade. I will go in more in detail when we release this in Q2, but just I wanted to give you a preview that this is coming. Customers will be able to have a deadline for iOS and macOS devices, and just push that deadline, and when the device is going to reboot and it's going to upgrade by itself, prior, it's going to give a lot of notifications to the end user and options to the end user to upgrade by themselves, and advising that, you know, at some deadline, we will just reboot, right? So end users will be notified plenty, and yeah, so very important feature customers are asking about. WatchOS management is also coming, so stay tuned. We are working on it, but this will be later in the year. And also the new framework for the app catalog will be coming, as Apple has released a framework where we can have an apps at work that actually works like the App Store, like a normal iOS App Store. I know customers are looking for that experience, which we couldn't provide before. As we had our own custom solution, the only way to manage it today, but those enhancements are coming. Windows roadmap. Some of the things that we are doing for our Windows platform. The Windows platform, we keep adding more management on the application side. So we have the ability now to push some applications only at registration, which I know that it's very important for application, and also not require the version, because we know that some desktop apps, they upgrade directly from the marketplace, and they don't go through their, you push them as an in-house app, and then they upgrade directly. So they kind of fall out the MDM upgrade cycle. And then the MDM doesn't recognize the new version of the other application, which causes problems, and the MDM keeps pushing and pushing the application when that happens. Now that we have the option of just pushing it once, and the application will not get pushed again if it changed version through the marketplace that is not recognized by the MDM. Script management, we are adding more features to script management, so we can add some recurring executions now of a script if you need some cleanup done, or just figure out if there are some local admins that need to be created. That is also part of the script. We will have customs or scripts that are available. We can push them from the device, from the device list, right? So you can push the scripts now to one or multiple devices as a one-time action that will be available directly on the device list. Some security enhancements, we are adding more restrictions and that were missing for desktop specifically. So stay tuned for that. And the firewall status has been also a very important feature request from our customers, that they wanted to see at the device level, on the device details, what was the firewall status, and that is also coming. And enrollment, we also have the ability now to use the same Wi-Fi dongle for those customers that are sometimes in a more remote location and they need to use a Wi-Fi dongle to enroll several devices. Well, that it will be possible as well. All right, and that's it from me.
All right, thank you, Yusuni. So I'll be covering for the admin experience. We have Ed Singh from my team who manages OS platforms and the admin experience pieces. Unfortunately, he's not able to join today as he's out sick. So I'm going to quickly cover the highlights of Q1 from the admin experience point of view. which is basically both in on-prem and cloud platforms. Some of the highlights are the OS version filter in advanced search, where you can group the values with the corresponding OS. Also, you could set the lost mode in the console for the iOS devices. Also, we're bringing the SMTP configuration email settings to cloud. Now you can have the Okta user provisioning. And also, one of the key highlight is the EPMM Oracle Linux operating system. I'll go over on that in a bit. And mobile threat defense, MTD, web content filtering is something that we're planning. And these are the various asks from our customers, all the Ivanti ideas that you're putting into the portal. We are making sure that we're prioritizing for each of the quarters. And these are all these items here listed are the ideas that came from our customers, and those are making into this release. And similar to that, we will have for the following quarters also based on the voting and the priority that is set for these ideas. So you'll be seeing more of this information in our release notes, upcoming release notes. You can find out the details there. And please do feel free to reach out to us for any questions you have around this. So this one, wanted to definitely talk about it is the EPMM admin experience area, which is we are actually going to start moving the base OS platform from CentOS 7 to the Oracle Linux 8. Initially, the plan was to move to Alma Linux, but with the IBM acquisition, things didn't work because of the changes that they have made. It didn't really work for us. So that way we went forward with the Oracle Linux 8 that we will be moving forward to. You will see more information. No end user impact in any case. This is more for the information to let you know that the base OS platform would be changing from the CentOS 7 to the Oracle Linux 8. And this will be starting from Q1. And this is upcoming release in a few weeks. You'll have this new release coming up with the base OS platform change. MTD, we are upgrading to the Zimperium version 5 SDK along the side of supporting the feature that most of the customers are asking for is the web content filtering. So that is also coming up with the MTD. Now moving on quickly to the app management areas and the productivity apps. Manoj also unfortunately could not join. Manoj also works for my team, managing the Incaptic Connect, partner device compliance, and productivity apps, app management pieces. So to start with, we'll take just 2 minutes to cover the app management, and I guess we'll leave the rest for the next session. Few highlights of the app management is now we are introducing the new checkbox that do not require a specific app version. If the checkbox is enabled, Ivanti Neurons MDM will now downgrade app to lower version. The problem we are solving here is that, as you know, Windows and macOS apps self-updates from Marketplace, and as it updates, it changes version while Ivanti Neurons MDM keep pushing the older version. The next one is the ability to search apps from available apps at device level. So we are introducing search box at the device level in available apps, where admin can search apps based on app name, bundle, package ID. And the app inventory advanced search. Now admin can search apps based on different criteria in app inventory. And improvements in the advanced search for app catalog, where admins can now filter apps based on distribution, expired provisioning profiles, and date modified. That's mostly for the app management. And for the productivity apps, very highlights are the delegated mailbox. Phase 2 is going to come up. It is available in Q4 already, and there are more enhancements added to it. Coming up phase 2, you'll see the delegatee will be able to read emails, respond to emails, flag, delete or move emails, get notifications or incoming emails. Then there is a select multiple photos with existing photo option. Then we have Talks at Work. You can now, a user will be able to create a PDF by scanning multiple photos from camera. Also, I have the option to auto crop or auto adjust while taking photos. This is a Hebrew language support. Then we have an option to select a viewer where user sometimes faces the problems while viewing the files with iOS native user. In most of the cases, they can mitigate the issues by selecting the Polaris user. And now with this feature, customers will have possibility to select the user by themselves. And this feature will be available via KVP. And Web at Work provision to set default homepage. User will be able to set default homepage option in Web at Work now. So those are essentially the highlights of that, the productivity apps and partner device compliance. As you all know that we already support the AAD device compliance, and now also the Google Beyond Corp also is in plan. With where the manual device compliance sync and Google BC info in CSV export is planned for Q1. Otherwise, the Google BC and AAD device compliance is already existing in the product. So I'll stop here. I know we pretty much ran out of the time and over 2 minutes, but thank you all for sparing your time to listen into what's coming up new with the UEM for Q1. And please feel free to reach out to us for any questions you have. Me and my team are here for any clarifications or for the future questions that you guys have.
Yeah, thank you everyone for staying on a little bit later, and thank you Aruna and the product management team for giving this overview of UEM. We will be sending out the link to the recording once we have it. We'll send it via email since you registered for the event, but we'll also post it on Innovators Engage. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, please reach out if you have any questions.